G'day guys. I've got a slightly different video here today. One of my league mates, DonPedro, who was the one that showed me the blocking glitch or the goaltending glitch, which I shared with you guys recently, has recorded league versus league footage of him going 58-2, which is an incredibly elite margin of 56 points. A 56-point differential in a league versus league tournament is amazing. So let's get stuck in and see exactly how he did it. So just like me, he tips off to his shooting guard and then runs straight in for the step back with Hardaway. Swishes that, no worries, off to a great start. His defense is something that's particularly impressive. So you can see that he waits there for Westbrook to become stationary and then he grabs that steal in a single swipe. The important thing there was backing off and letting the point guard become stationary before attempting the steal. You can see the next offense was run through a step back again. Same thing here, waits for Westbrook to be stationary before attempting the steal, doesn't try and body him up or anything, he backs off and he's got two really quick steals. Gets Lin cutting to the basket for an easy dunk, guaranteed 2 points. So he's off to an 8-0 start in the first 38 seconds of the game, which is awesome. Backs off as soon as Westbrook starts moving there. Got a bit lucky then. Often the AI hits those contested threes against me. Making good use of ability plays. He does the same thing that I do there, in that he backs into the clutch zone so that there's less risk of accidentally scoring a 2. Because you really want to make sure you're hitting as many points as possible, so clutch threes are pretty important. Same thing again, he's really not forcing that defense. He's staying in front of the ball handler at all times. He's not overcommitting. And he does something that I'll point out on the next drive, which is pretty useful as well. I'll point out the next time the AR brings the ball up here. He's using manual switching and he stays in front of the guys out in the perimeter, but he doesn't switch into the bigs if the ball goes inside. He lets the AI control those because they have a much better ability at contesting shots and grabbing rebounds. If you try and do that yourself, your timing's always just a little bit off and you end up getting out rebounded. So that's a very important tip that I've picked up, in that you want to, manual switching is the best defense in my mind, and you want to be switching between the perimeter players, but once the ball goes inside or once it's shot, let the AI control your bigs to grab that rebound. So here it is again, Westbrook stationary, brings in Lin for the steal, doesn't get it there, but he gets back in front of Westbrook to contest that shot. The AI grabs that board, fantastic, and now he's on for the buzzer beater with James. So you want to guarantee as many points in league versus league, so having players with abilities helps that, and you can see there that he scored 9 guaranteed points with Lin and LeBron James. Ends up going 20-0, which is incredible. Whenever somebody in our league has a quarter where they hold their opponent to 0, we call that a donut. So he gets a donut, which is awesome. Takes a screenshot as evidence. His second quarter here, same opponent. So his opponent is let's have a look. I missed it on the first drive. His opponent's a 94. I think he's also a 94. So he's matching up against his over. So he takes the two-way lineup here, matching up against his big way. Once again, a couple of clutch abilities in there. So long as he plays everything right, he's guaranteed 6 points with Westbrook and T-Mac. You'll see the exact same thing that I do with that tip, once again, to the shooting guard for that step back. Kind of misses the thumbstick on the step back, so it becomes a jump stop, but that's just something that happens every now and again. I do that too. I certainly don't hit step backs 100% of the time. You'll see the same thing there. Lillard was stationary, so he brought Westbrook in for that easy steal. He didn't force it. He was patient with it. And it's a little bit counterintuitive, but the more patient you are on defense, the more quickly you're likely to get the ball, because the steals are much more effective if you let the PG come to a stop. That's a much better way of grabbing those steals. There you see again, the AI is much better than we are at timing those rebounds. Another step back. Once again, off to a really good start. 8-zip in the first 40 seconds. Once again, just stripping Lillard over and over again. As soon as he comes to a stop, he's able to get that easy steal, which is a pretty important factor in just how many points you're able to score in league versus league. If the AI is using up all of the shot clock, then you're not going to get as many shots off. So getting those steals is really important. You can see there that the AI was contesting that shot and stayed in front of the player and made him miss that. Coming in for another step back. And then the final 2 possessions, he'll have time to get both those clutch shots off. So it's already an elite margin at 14 points. Anything beyond this is just gravy. So Lillard ran to the side there, and if he was really pushing it, he could have gone for that out of bounds steal. But that's just not his style of play, and obviously he doesn't need it because this is working for him quite well. So there he hits that first clutch. 17-0, still holding the opponent to 0, which is just incredible. Same thing, Lillard comes to a stop, and as soon as he comes to a stop and you bring that point guard in, the stealing is so much easier, as is being highlighted here. This is a fundamental sort of video on how you should be stealing in league. And there we go, he times that last clutch shot perfectly, so the AI is not going to get another possession. If you shoot that and it's leaving the shooter's hands with 1.3 seconds or less on the clock, that's going to, the flight time of the ball will eat up the rest of the clock, and the quarter will end. So there we go, another 20-0 quarter, or another donut. So 2 donuts in a tournament is fantastic. We celebrate 1, but getting 2 is amazing. So he's already up 40 zip. 40 points margin in 3 drives is fantastic. Doing it in 2 drives is incredible. So let's see how he goes in his 3rd drive. We'll be facing which lineups he choose. Goes with the big man lineup. And he will be using his 2-way lineup. Once again, a couple of abilities in there. Bill Russell's in the paint ability isn't one that I personally use. It's a little bit awkward to try and force that for 2 points. And he's not a good ball handler, so there's a high risk at him losing the ball. If you try and pass it into him at the post, you got to rely on him getting in there, which he doesn't always do. There we go. That exact same start that you're used to seeing with me. Tip off the shooting guard, hit that opening step back. It's very reliable. There was another opportunity to push the point guard out of bounds as he brought it up the sideline, but chose not to. Finally concedes a point, which, look, it's near impossible to not concede any points in league. The AI just is cheesy enough that they're going to make a couple of contested shots, and that's the first contested shot that they make. You can't be too upset about that. It just happens. Usually, in my experience, it's T-Mac hitting a contested fadeaway 3-pointer right in my face, which is very frustrating. You see here, once again, he makes sure he's always in front of the point guard. He's not getting the steal, but he doesn't ever let the point guard blow by him. Letting the AI contest those shots, and as you see there, it works really well. He gets the ball back. Slightly slower start this time round, but you're just going to have that some quarters. Some quarters the AI just holds the ball a little bit longer and there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes you just can't get that steal, or they'll keep passing, or they'll get a couple of lucky rebounds. But as you can see, as I've been saying, and as DonPedro is showing, letting the AI control the rebounding is much more effective than you trying to do it. There we go with that cutting Davis for the easy dunk. And all of a sudden this quarter's looking really good too. 10-2 in the first minute basically. Once again, point guard comes to a stop. Westbrook, and Harden strips him really easily. Give it off to McGrady for that step back. And he'll have just enough time for 2 more shots to go up, and those will be the clutch shots. If you're really lucky, you could probably get 3 more offensive possessions in here. Just depends on how much you want to push it. You can afford to push it a little bit more because you know that Harden's got that buzzer beater ability. There we go, gets that nice steal there. Sometimes the opposing AI picks it up and there's nothing you can do, but so that's fine. Looks for T-Mac so he can get that clutch shot off. Unfortunately, the animation steps in, so it's only a 2. And this happens sometimes. It's really frustrating, but when you're doing shots on the move, sometimes the animation that triggers is not one that you want, and it brings you inside of the 3-point line. And there we go. Once again, Westbrook became stationary. Harden gets that steal, and it's just lights out from there. This is going to end up in an 18-2 quarter. which is the end result of 58-2 or a 56-point margin, which is incredibly elite. There's actually a post that I'm managing on NBALive.gg which tracks the highest margins that can be proved against opponents you're over or better. And this is one of the top 5, I believe, at the moment. So that's it, guys. If you want to get better at league versus league, you should be mimicking this video. It shows the perfect offense to be running in step backs, and it shows exactly what you should be doing to steal the ball from the opponent, to contest shots, and to grab defensive rebounds. So thank you to DonPedro for sharing this, and thank you for watching it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and as always, make sure to check back for new content.